students that got places for their artwork. So first one, Heidi Reed. I don't see Annabella Spaho in here. And also Kate Moorhead. She's got yes, hers is used as a Christmas card. Okay.
Mike, do you want to go take a picture with your child?
Here, just a second, Michael.
Y'all are moving quick.
Get in the picture.
She's talented like her mom.
That's right.
That's right. She got it all from Tay.
Can I see your?
Can we see your picture?
Hey, what's on?
You could just walk around and show us.
I love that.
Come walk by.
Oh,
Y'all walk by right
so
here and come.
talented.
Those are
Oh, I love the shadow, the gold shadow on the AP. Very nice.
And they're framed now.
They are.
And actually, you can stand right here for 1 second. I also included some empathy award people, and I don't know if anybody showed up, but Kate. Oh, all right, come up real quick.
Audrey Phelps.
All right, so these are my two students that were empathy awards. So Audrey and Kate, they also received an empathy award this month. So.
Wait.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Come take pictures with me. Over
Hey,
here.
come back. Come back.
Right here, baby. Audrey. You gotta come back. We haven't even got the picture done, did we?
I've got to admit, I'm the one that put here.
That's all right. That's all right, yeah.
It needs to be like right here in red if somebody needs it.
There we go.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, look at your mommy. Let's get one of just me and you. And pop off.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And while I'm up here, I'll go ahead and
pictured out for the
take
day.
care of my
It's on y'all now.
staff and teacher of the month. Miss Tilton was my staff member of the month. Come on up. Miss Tilton is in a new role on our campus, and she is doing a fabulous job of keeping everything going over here. She takes the initiative, and I mean, I wouldn't even think that she was new in there, because some questions I, would ask Miss Richards when she was here, I can go and ask her, and she already knows like the answer. So she is doing a great job in her new role, and we appreciate all that she do. All right, and Miss Connolly is our teacher that I'm recognizing this month. Miss Connolly, she does a great job with our students. She takes, she advocates for them, and in her classroom, she can tell you every single student in her class where they are, what they need. I mean, it's just amazing to see her work. You go in, her small groups, they are tailored to those students sitting right there in front of her. So it's just amazing what she does with the students in the classroom. So
Well, that's
we
so kind
appreciate
of
that.
you.
That's me.
College crowd.
So we're going to recognize our students from the elementary. They submitted pictures to be judged for the Christmas card for the district. And these are our winners. Jocelyn Perez, is she? Emma Beltran's not here either. Okay, well, our winner that actually made it on the Christmas card is here, and Miss Peyton Dempsey. Peyton, if you'll come on up. congratulations, Peyton. You want to say?
I'll take this one too. Let me see. Oh, I like that. Pull the fireplace. Oh, the checker matches. Okay. You want to show them? You want to show them? Yeah. Oh, she brought her sample as
I'm old,
well.
you gotta get a lot closer.
Yeah, go show them. Go show them. She has like a fireplace scene with the fire and the board.
Nice, wow.
It's very on trend. Peyton.
Very creative. So congratulations, Peyton.
Good job, Peyton.
And I'm going to also go ahead and recognize our Teacher of the Month that we have from our campus. Every month I send out an email to all of our staff, and they nominate and vote who they want to be selected as Teacher of the Month. So this month, Miss Sammy Myers was nominated by her peers. So this is what they had to say about you. Ms. Myers does an exceptional job of supporting the whole child in their learning. She not only creates meaningful and memorable academic experiences, but she also takes the time to listen to her students' needs and guide them socially and emotionally while at school. Ms. Myers builds authentic relationships with her students and is a wonderful colleague to work alongside. She's always willing to step in where needed and consistently communicates what is best for each student. We're so grateful to have her at AES. Congratulations. Ms. Myers is our 5th grade science teacher. So, congratulations. Oh, we'll wait.
Great. Thank you. Congratulations.
We also had 3 students that competed in the Christmas card contest and were selected, and I think all of ours are out. They're sick. Yeah, we call. Yeah.
That's a good guess.
So we called today, and they're like, "Oh, we have the flu, we have strep throat." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" So Max Duffel is one student's name. Cadence Bird. I'm just going to hold them up here so it's worthy of a showing. Little house. I know. Let me do the little presentation.
Oh,
Boy.
very talented. That's Max's.
That's Max's. This is Cadence Bird.
Wow.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. And this one is Melissa Quinte. It's really good too. Little house. It's very nice.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah, that's really
I
nice.
hope they didn't get to get recognized, but they make a big deal of it at school. And then the teacher that was nominated for our Teacher of the Month is Miss Lauren Brandon. You'll come on up, please. Now I could speak and do it all, but I'm going to read what was written about me because I think that's so sweet. They started doing this, the other principals, and I thought, you know what, I really like that. Instead of me rambling, I'm going to do it from someone else. Okay. So some of the comments were, Miss Brandon is a natural leader, and this is evident in her calm demeanor and determination to help whenever possible. She's a hard worker and never minds taking her time to share her knowledge. She's always smiling and easily lifts the spirits of others around her. Ms. Brandon is passionate about educating her students and goes above and beyond to meet them where they are individually. She encourages them and creates a strong bond with each of them. She's truly an asset to AMS. And the calm demeanor part is spot on because I might feel like I'm getting like going to blow and she'll, it's just, she may feel that way, but you don't know. And I think that's real important for kids. Just the smoothness. I'm sure she's that way at home too. Tell her just so calm.
You may not agree.
Yeah. But she's great. She helps everywhere, and sometimes you don't even know what she's going to be doing that day because she's a math resource teacher, has in the special ed department and has a great knowledge. She helps us, she's been in other schools, which is kind of nice sometimes to hear how things are done in other schools, and they come in and we put those things together and see what we need to do for ours to improve it. So we love having her.
Do you have any of that calm demeanor I can have? Because I don't have it.
Would be good. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Right up there. We've got the high school, we've got 3 things to present tonight. Got that, Ms. Duhon? Let's talk to the podium so I can see everybody. It's right back here for 1 second. For the Christmas cards awards this year, starting with 3rd place, and yeah, we do have a little bit of a, no one called the flu, but a little bit of cold outbreak, so we hope everybody's here that can make it. We've got Aaliyah Williams 3rd place in the Christmas card contest. Aaliyah, are you here? We've got Canali Sutton 2nd place. And we finished off with Madison Klein 1st place. So board, I present to you, if you haven't had a chance to take a look at these, I'll pass it around so you can get a gander. It's really high quality work. And we appreciate our students for taking part in it. The student recognitions that we'll give tonight, we've got 3 students to honor. Kristen Geis, are you here? Senior. Emily Dominy, are you here? I know Riley Bettis, you're here, right? Thank you, Riley. I'm going to hand this to you, Riley, if you can show it to the board and show it to the crowd, and we'll go out there and take a picture in 1 second. I'm going to brag on Riley for a second. Share her comments from Miss Ferguson, her English 2 teacher are, I'm nominating Riley Bettis for Student of the Month because she consistently demonstrates academic excellence, a strong work ethic, and a positive attitude in the classroom. She approaches every assignment with determination, participates thoughtfully in discussions, and serves as a model of integrity for her peers. She has shown growth this semester, and she takes initiative to improve her work, seeks feedback, and applies a purpose. Riley embodies what it means to be a hardworking, kind, and dependable student. She supports her peers, and her effort, attitude, and character make her an excellent role model and choice for Student of the Month. And Ms. Ferguson does give out compliments easily, so this is one of our Students of the Month doing a great job. And we've got 2 staff members to honor tonight. I'll start with Ms. Martinez. Ms. Martinez, if you come up here. She is one of our high school agriculture teammates. This is from our admin team, mostly from Miss Green, who can't make it here tonight. She's also got a kiddo in some UIL activities that she had to make, so I'm filling in. Ms. Green and the admin team say because she has always interesting lessons planned for her students, because she started Panther Paws that is a great benefit to the community in her animal classes, because she works above and beyond as a great ag teacher coaching her ag and bug teams during competition. She has shown dedication in and out of the classroom to her students with all the exciting and fun opportunities she created for them this year with the FFA and dog grooming class that she operates. If you haven't visited Ms. Martinez's classroom, please come take a look. It looks like a veterinary office, but within that she has a grooming capability, and a lot of our staff members bring their fur kiddos, as they call them, up to the high school and they get them groomed. The kids learn how to interact with sometimes dangerous animals, small terriers, chihuahuas, that kind of business. I haven't seen a cat up there yet, but we're going to get one. And they're learning a lot of stuff. And Ms. Martinez is she's got a very high standard for her students. She often invites the staff to come into the library where she has the students present like they presented last board meeting with the news with the FFA. They do that regularly, and for us to give feedback to, and she has a very high standard, and that's why the FFA is at a whole new level because of her leadership. And our next staff member, Ms. Vega, could you come up, please? Thank you very much. And Ms. Vega, you can stand there 1 second. The admin team writes that Ms. Vega, she's our lead custodian at AHS, and this is, I'm thinking this may be from actually Ms. Majors. She says, "She is an angel and heaven sent. If I need her, she's always there, ready for help. If a student needs anything, she immediately responds with kindness and care. She's amazing, efficient, and gets the job done." And you know, we can't operate a high school and present it like it should be for the great students and parents of Anahuac without a lady like Ms. Vega taking care of us. And so, board and community, these are our staff members of the month, Ms. Martinez and Ms. Vega.
Her LDE team just went to state.
I was just informed, just breaking news.
Ms. Martinez's LDE team just went to state and competed. So,
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
No, I was telling her she needs to invite Miss Green to come observe when she does the artificial insemination.
Okay, were there any public comments? No rest of public comments, okay. So our next presentation is by the Ministerial Alliance.
I guess that's me. But it's all of us here. We want to present this to the school. Sherry Phelps heard about this was being passed into law, that the 10 Commandments can go back in school. So getting with Cody Apsher and finding out how many classrooms were in all the campuses, the Ministerial Alliance would like to present the campuses with 150 of these that will be installed in each of the classrooms. So, pass it around. That's what it looks like. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time that we go down to our regular business, so to speak, and so if you'd like to leave, you certainly can. We'll be getting into our regular business meeting. You all have a Merry Christmas.
You want to tell him bye?
Bye.
bye bye.
Where do you want us to put the box? Leave it there?
You know what, if you stick right there, it'll be perfect.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
How are you? Good to see you.
Hey, bro.
How are you,
Good
darling?
to see you.
Hi, how are you?
So, Michael, how you doing?
Good. Doing okay?
Yep.
She's doing all right.
Thank y'all. Yes, sir, good to see you.
Okay, we'll go on to monthly reports. Superintendent report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. As we mentioned earlier, Kimberly Swope has left the building, and she gone. She retired, and so we have Jessica Chapman coming. Poor Lena. Lena's actually being nice to us. I don't know why, but that just goes to show her
Not to
character.
interrupt you, but Tammy and I talked about that yesterday. At the grocery store, I said, "Poor Lena, we keep stealing her people."
She grows them up, and we take them. But you know, Jessica's going to do an outstanding job, and everybody in this room knows that because y'all know Jessica and you know the work that she does. And so she'll start right after Christmas. So you know, that's something big. You know, talk about a superintendent's report. That's a big deal, right, for all of us, all
Absolutely.
8 or 10 of us, whatever.
Yeah.
And also, you know, preaching to the choir here, I want to tell you that we have mucho kids sick right now. And campus principals, what are the numbers, like 50 to 60 at each campus?
We had 62 today.
Ooh.
We had 70 at the elementary today, y'all.
70.
I'm gonna tell you right now, but Miss Tilton is not playing because I got a letter about Hank. I was like, ooh, he had the flu, okay?
And of course, we'll file for a waiver on that and see how that works. I did want to, so that's kind of, keeping it brief, superintendent's report. I'll go right into the board goal report because Daniel is watching Jake play basketball up in Kirbyville. So go Panthers up there. We wish them safe travels. I wanted to talk just briefly about the Texas Strategic Leadership, and thank y'all once again, board, for being supportive of this effort. I probably have already told y'all the story, but years ago I had a Boy Scout troop endeavors, and I needed to bring them to a meeting held by publicly elected officials like yourselves. And so we showed up in a school bus from Devers, Texas to Liberty, Texas to see their board meeting so that those boys could get that merit badge. And when I pulled up there, there was a sea of cars. And I said, what in the world's going on here? So we went into that board meeting, and it was pitchforks and torches like I'd never seen before. My kids had to sit on the floor Indian style, and it was on account of Dr., and it was a real nice lady, I don't remember her name, but Dr. something was bringing in a new curriculum. And she probably did her very best to involve all the stakeholders, but all I'm saying is thank y'all for your support, because we are in a partnership with TEA and Region 5, and y'all helped us remember, hey, Cody, y'all better have as many stakeholders there as you possibly can, because this type of thing can be controversial, because this is going to be a sea change for this district. And basically, we've got Katie and Morgan, and they came out and facilitated us at the new operations center the other day as we're trying to hone in on what is it that we need to make priorities. And I think they call them levers. Does that sound right, Lena? And Tammy, she'll keep me straight, I think. And so basically, in a nutshell, a huge priority or a huge lever is going to be focused on our curriculum being aligned and rigorous. And so the data has been collected where all the walkthroughs and just all kinds of survey information and all kinds of data, and it's in the report. I believe Daniel sent it to you. But I just wanted to thank y'all again for being supportive of us in this, because every district across the state is trying to improve, and this one is no exception. And we know we have room for improvement. There's so many awesome, good things going on in this district. I mean, we could sit here and talk about it all night, about all the great things, but you guys have taken on the responsibility of being the adults in the room, so to speak, no pun intended, and supporting us, and in fact holding us to a high standard in trying to improve the district in whatever way it needs to be improved. And in this instance, we're zeroing in on academics, and again, the curriculum, the alignment, the rigor, and so the report goes into that. And I know some of y'all have had time to look over it, and if y'all do get a chance to look over it and you have a question for Daniel or me or Tammy or any of us really, please feel free to reach out and we'll get you an answer on that. But it's all about formalizing our approach. It's about formalizing things, and one of the things we don't want to ever do, and I think a lot of people in this room can relate to this, we never want to stifle the creativity of an employee. Mm-hmm. And so we do not want to be micromanaging the classrooms to the point to where teachers say, you know what, I think I might go work somewhere else, because they're trying to micromanage what's going on in my classroom. So we're not talking about that, but we are talking about formalizing our approaches with the use of curriculum and our instructional practices, because we need to, what's our theme this year?
Pull together.
Pulling together. So we all need to be pulling together, and that's what we're working on. And so we're just so appreciative of Region 5. And like I mentioned, Katie and Morgan, they're doing an outstanding job. And I will say the other day, I think you may know this or have an idea about it, but for instance, the last meeting we had, and several of the people who were in that meeting are in the room right now, and it's very similar to what Grady does with facilities. What Katie and Morgan do when they come and facilitate us in meetings, they're masters at it because they do it over and over again, and they have a system down, just as Grady does in helping the group figure out what the priorities for facilities should be. So you know what that looks like. It looks like they've got the big Post-its on all the walls, and all the stakeholders, they go up and they put their little stickers on or whatever, and then and that's all done in the interest of everybody knowing that they legitimately had a part in it. And it's not just going through the motions and pretending, come to this meeting and then we're going to do what we're going to do whatever we think we should do anyway. No, it's actually the outcome of the meetings and the outcomes of what we're prioritizing in the district are actually the result of the stakeholder input. And again, you guys were very careful to remind us to err on the side of more stakeholders and not less. And so we appreciate that. And so that's a bit of the monthly board report there, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, and principal monthly reports are in the packet. You know, take a look at that unless y'all have something to add more to it, principals. And then we have presentation of monthly financial reports, investment reports, and budget updates.
You don't have any questions? Not much happened since the last 2 weeks we met.
Yeah, that's right. That's kind of a fast turnaround. Okay. Any questions about our financial reports from the board? No? Okay. All right, then we'll move on to action items. Our first action item A, consider minutes of November 17th, 2025 regular meeting.
I'll move to approve the minutes of November 17th, 2025 regular meeting.
Okay, first, second?
I'll second.
Okay. And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against say nay. Motion carries. Okay, item B, consider adoption of resolution changing the date of trustee elections to the November uniform election date.
Mr. President, may I say a few comments?
Sure.
And then if you, Tammy, and anybody else in the room wants to contribute to this conversation, probably be a lot more intelligent than anything I'm going to say. But, you know, this is something that's been on Kim's mind for years, actually. Our building and the business that goes on in that building on a daily basis, really, it's not really conducive to have voting there. And there's actually a myriad of reasons to let the county do the voting. And, you know, it's just, it's a tremendous burden. We have Ms. Chapman coming in as a new superintendent secretary. Like I said, it's, we're almost, now this may be a cynical view, some of this. It could, you know, I'm sure there's another side of this argument, I guess. But it seems, you know, it seems pretty obvious to all of us in the office after, you know, hearing Kim talk about this. She certainly has me convinced that we are actually asking for a problem where, you know, you've got people trying to come in and vote, and it's a very private thing. It's a very important thing. And so they're in there for the sole purpose of voting, which is what's the term? The sanctity of voting, you know, in our country, things like that, where it's really it's a right that we have as Americans, and we should be allowed to do that in kind of in a private type of setting. And we've got just people coming in and out of the building. We now know that, for instance, thanks to y'all's graciousness, we're going to be able to fix that building over there, where the people working that building aren't as vulnerable to someone coming in wishing to do them harm. So that is against the law, you know, for it to be locked. You can't lock a voting thing, you know. So anyway, there's a whole lot of reasons, and Tammy and Dr. Redmond, we've discussed this, and I'm probably leaving out maybe some of the most important reasons, Tammy. What are the other talking points on this?
No, it's just we have to turn off all the cameras anytime someone comes in to vote, and then we don't really have the setup to make it where you can't get away from people talking because the phones are constantly ringing. We have to have our cell phones just to be able to access our computer programs because we have to look at the authenticator, and you're not supposed to have your cell phones out, and so the ability to do regular day-to-day business and hold an election in the same area is not feasible anymore.
Yeah, so this would basically roll in our elections to the November election. The county would basically run it, you know, basically administer it or run it, and it'd be on the same ballot, just as whatever else is on that November ballot of that year.
It would just mean all of you have an additional six-year term.
Yeah, so it would be
6 months.
Yeah. You would have a 6 month. You'd have additional 6 months, and then but whomever else comes in November, you know, as y'all cycle through that first round, then it will go back to the 3 years.
Yes, yes. So it would basically there would not be a May election this coming May, and then instead of it being May, it'd be November. And so those positions that are up this May would be up in November. And so and then when your position came up, it would be up in November instead of May, like normal. And so Kim was, she had a lot of good points about it, and it does with the new security and the locked door. It just doesn't seem like a good place to vote, and we certainly don't want to send a message that we're trying to keep voters out. That's not right.
And then the ever-changing laws that are associated with holding an election, it becomes increasingly stressful to make sure that you're not missing something.
Yeah.
We did have Heather Hawthorne come over and sit with us, and Heather, that's the world she lives in, right? I
Yes.
mean, that's her world, and she's very much supportive of this. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was just gonna say at the most basic level, in my opinion, it gets more people involved in the school electoral process because we may have a couple hundred people come out to our May elections. But this way, a lot more people are voting in the November elections. It gets their voice heard. They're more likely to be engaged, whether or not they want to keep us as their business, but more people will have the opportunity and be more willing to participate in our elections. So I think that's a great thing.
That's very true.
Any other thoughts or questions from the board concerning this? No? Okay. Okay, so if I can hear a motion, please.
I move to approve the adoption of resolution changing the dates of trustee elections to the November uniform election date.
First.
I'll second.
First and second. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against say nay. Motion carries. Okay, next is discussion items. We have item A, discuss district technology needs.
Hi, y'all probably know me, but I'm Justice Cook, the technology director, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about kind of what we need, in case you weren't aware, and just kind of go over that and try to keep it brief. There's no numbers on here for like prices or anything. We have some of that, but I haven't really gotten into that yet.
And Justice, before you start, and forgive my ignorance on this, is some or all of this based on your work with Region 5? Is any of this, or is it kind of a mixed bag?
It's mixed, but it did kind of stem from that, kind of set it off. But now as we looked into more of our stuff with them, we just noticed more things that, are needing to be updated and stuff like that.
So you're currently working with them also, and will you come at a later date and have even more information with that as far as the audit?
Yes, sir. And I can share all that information through email if you want to see. It's pretty in depth. It can be very in depth. There is a document that kind of just explains it, and then there's more like backup stuff that digs in and tells us a lot of stuff. So if y'all want to see that, I could definitely share that and make that available. And if you want me to talk more about it, I can. But overall, I'll go ahead and. Well, that's number 4, but I can talk about it real quick. That we did pretty good overall. We were able to fix like some of the major. I really wouldn't call them major things, but there were a couple of things that they pointed out that we needed to jump on, and we were able to immediately pretty much fix those within like a week or two. One of them is the 2-factor thing that everybody loves for email, but it's something we got to do. We've got a lot of. We're part of a email group, and all Region 5 will just talk about things that happen, and there's tons of, even in these small districts are getting hit by different stuff now. It's kind of, I wouldn't have thought it'd be just the next door school, but it is nowadays. It's kind of sad, but that's kind of how things are changing too, I guess. But anyway, and so overall, just as I come in and started looking around and kind of walking around and stuff, being in the classroom, that actually helped quite a bit to see how our systems work and stuff and what we might need to change. But here's a list of 6 things, I guess, and it seems like it covers almost everything now that I look at it, but just some things that y'all may or may not have known about that we are kind of in need of replacement as they just age and things are changing in technology, like Windows 10 going out of support and things like that. It's kind of necessitated some upgrades. They're not like they have to happen tomorrow, but that's why I tried to make a list, and the rank number 1 is the highest, and then goes down from there. And this kind of my assessment is our PA system, our intercom system for not this campus but the other campuses. I think it was put in around 2000. It's kind of becoming, it's so old. Unfortunately, they don't really make these parts. This kind of end of life, just like software does. All this hardware is going that way. It's kind of an older style system and more analog. We can get a more digital system, at least that's what we're going to probably get quotes on. But the real problem is, it's more like the security of making announcements when there's a fire or something like that, if there was one. Currently, the gyms at the middle school, like most of those speakers don't work. So, and the cafeteria is out there. So at lunchtime, luckily our Rapture system works pretty good. And so we have multiple ways to let people know. But sometimes that could be the fastest is the intercom system, and it just needs to be updated. We have finally. It's weird how I've been reaching out to companies. It's almost like they don't want us to pay them money to do things and give us quotes. But I finally got one for the people that were started on getting one for the same people that did this campus with this system, so we could keep a similar one. That's kind of my ideal, if that's possible. But we're getting at least right now 2 quotes, probably 3, depending on if we're able to use like buy board or something that would like kind of fix the pricing, I guess. But anyway, we've gotten at least the ball rolling and figuring out what that costs. I don't know what the end cost would be, but just that's going to be like the number one, and I have a feeling that one will be a pretty extensive, because it's going to pretty much take everything down and replace like the speakers in the classrooms and run new wiring and stuff like that.
And we need to be sure, Tammy, to get that somehow merged in with Grady's.
It was listed as under one of those projects for the bond, with bond money too. It was listed on one of those that our facility needs committee had identified.
That's really good. It's going to cost a lot.
Anybody have any questions about that? No? So next is just teacher and like front office admins and people like that, desktops. Most of us have a desktop. Some of us have a Chromebook or a laptop as well. For teachers, what I would like to do is try to transition to more like we have here at the primary, where they get one laptop, possibly a thing called a docking station, which all their a second monitor and their keyboard and mouse and stuff. Anything else they need to plug in can plug into that, and then they simply plug that into their laptop, and then they can take it home and do work and then bring it back. So we kind of eliminate one device, so we don't have to buy 2 devices. We would replace their desktop and their current laptop. In most cases, the desktops are really the older device. The laptops are kind of, we could probably make them work in some cases. It's kind of, but it's kind of a big shift, right? It's going from Chromebooks, which are Google-based, and making it where the teachers are using a Windows-based machine, which is what their desktop is. And I think it'll just make their experience a little more consistent. They can take it home, add files, download whatever, and then they don't have to transfer it to something else. It's just their laptop is their desktop essentially now. So kind of help them keep all their files together and stuff like that.
That's what we use at the county.
About how many devices does the district have?
So that's when actually got Sean was doing something else, I think helping, I can't remember who it was, but he was able to get a list of all teachers and staff, and I went through that, and it's about, there's about 100 teachers, I think. So that would be laptops, which are a little bit cheaper than desktops. They're about the same now. Let me see if I can.
And the reason I ask, like Samantha said, the county does something similar to that.
Yes.
And we're on a 5-year cycle, I think. It was a 4-year cycle, but they've pushed it out because I guess technology's a lot better. Yes. And instead of having to buy, say, 200 laptops at once, buy 50 this year, 50
yes,
next
sir.
year,
That's
and then
exactly,
start cycling them out, something like that.
Yeah, so it would be, that's basically what I want to do. When I was at Whole Day Zeta, this was already in place before I got there, but it worked pretty well, and they were on a 3-year lease, much smaller school, but we were able to go, wait 3 years. We would cycle all those teacher desktops down to the labs, and then the old lab computers just ended up getting recycled. And so we kind of got into that loop. And so that's one thing, and that's like my last point on here is how do we want to do that? Some of these, because I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out. Do we want to try to do at least one time where we make one update to get everything up to date, or do we need to do that?
I think that may come, and Tammy, you correct me if I'm wrong, but like when Grady comes back and facilitates the board, for instance, maybe sometime in the spring, Dr. Redmond, in looking at all of this, because these are big dollar items, you know, and y'all do have some money, thank the good Lord Almighty in heaven, y'all got some money to work with, but you know, you're gonna be trying to stretch it out and spend it on the priorities. And I don't know, Tammy, does that make sense if we, you know, get Grady to help facilitate that process? Because when we spend that money, it's spent. And then you can't make it fall down out of the sky to do other things. So we really need to take a real, serious approach to it. Don't you think? A systematic type of approach to it.
But it just seems like if you bought a whole bunch of them right now in 5, 6, 7 years, they're gonna have to buy a big chunk of them again.
Yes.
Whereas if you just, the oldest ones get phased out now and slowly start working it back.
I don't know if we could actually spend and I don't know that you would wanna spend bond money where you're paying out over a long period of time on like technology devices necessarily, but maybe on some of the wiring things that are like he's
The
saying,
facilities upgrades.
the
Yes.
servers and the power issues, things like that, but as far as the
Like
device.
financing a microwave, when you get your mortgage, that just makes me
I guess we'll have to get some real solid numbers, right? Numbers, because it's going to be a big budget consideration.
I think that this is important, incredibly important, because that is one feedback item that I consistently hear from parents and staff and the community is that we are pretty far behind on technology, so I appreciate you taking the initiative to do this. And I think that you made a lot of really great points and how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, and I think you kind of broke that down for us. But I do just want to say on the bond thing, I did get a question from a committee member about, and it's related, I'm sorry to steal your spotlight for a second, Justice, but this kind of segues into it, about us making the improvements to the admin building that are needed, but those were not ranked high on the committee members' list of improvements that were needed. And several committee members were a little bit upset with us because they felt like they did a lot of work and put a lot of time and effort into that, and then we immediately just did kind of what we wanted to do. So as we spend that bond money, I would just say that I think we need to be considerate of what their recommendations are, taking all of this other things into account there, but just a comment that I did get from a committee member.
I think that's really good that they shared that with you, and you're right, and they were right. Now, I will say that I do believe the things that we're talking to Holly about are purely safety, so that somebody can't just walk in on top of those ladies and inflict harm on them. And so if we were doing a lot beyond that, I would say absolutely hallelujah on that. I think y'all might be, it might be a special situation where it's the only facility in the district where the people aren't protected, so you might get a pass on that part of it.
And I explained that, and they were fine with it, and then also I explained like it's really a relatively low budget item compared to the amount of money that we have to spend, but I did just want to share with you guys that comment was made to me, that as we look at spending, so we may need to find another funding mechanism is kind of what the very long route that I took to get there is that absolutely needed, we may need to find another funding mechanism.
And we also,
why not?
And to your point, we need to try to hold that project down. And for Holly and them, they want anything they do or design, they want it to be something to really be proud of, which means expensive. So we need to have that in mind and try to keep the numbers down as low as we can on that thing.
Well, and we have to look at, a lot of the things that they ranked really high, we can't afford to do because we have limited funds left. And so we have to go down the list to the next things that we can afford to do that still have the largest impact on students. And yes, the admin building doesn't have a large impact on the students, but it does have the safety concern that kind of trumps other things more.
We'll just need to do some public education and engagement on that, just to make sure that we're being transparent with the taxpayers and they're understanding how and why we're making those decisions. Like I said, once I explained, like, this is a safety issue, relatively low budget item, the person that talked to me was totally fine with it, but, I mean, I saw her in public and she beelined right for me. I was like, I want to talk to you about something, and I was like, okay.
And we have this committee and we tell the stakeholders, oh, you're getting to make this, and then they find out, they're just doing whatever they want. Why did I even, my kids were home by themselves and whatever, and I sacrificed all that time.
Well, we have to, kind of go through the list and say, okay, we can afford to do this, we can afford to do this, we can afford to do this, but all these items are so expensive that we can't afford to do them at this time. Or when you start looking at it, like if there's improvements they suggested at the middle school, we know that it possibly needs to be replaced, so do we wanna put that money in
Yeah,
there? I mean, there's a lot of
absolutely.
consideration that has to go into it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think one bite at a time is our answer.
Yeah, no, and I'll just go over these really quick for the rest. I guess to me, those are gonna be probably the most expensive because the number of devices or just the costs of those systems. We have some power issues with our offices and our servers and stuff, but I don't think that may not even need board approval. It's just at the cost level. These are just so you know, these are issues for that one. We have a quote from this was not really part of it, but Region 5, just as they were investigating and looking at stuff, recommended getting battery backups for all of our server equipment, which we have, but they're also like, some are working, some aren't, and it needs to be replaced. And then they're gonna look at all of the generators throughout the district, but there's one in particular that connects to like where the internet comes in for the district, and that one's kind of more important, I guess. But we're getting that's finally in the works. And then the Region 5 security, I actually learned a lot from them too. There's also a free antivirus program that we can get through the state that will basically apply. We'll get a license for every student we have, so that should cover almost every desktop computer that we will have. So that was good. That's mostly going to be covered. And then a lot of these things are just like setting changes that they just recommend. None of this this audit wasn't like anything that has to be done. It's all recommendations, but they're based off of agencies that have just gone over this data and like these are the practices that work and these are the good things to do. And the other cool thing about that is a lot of that is funded through TEA to pay Region 5. So if we ask them to do it for us, it won't be any cost to us. It's just the time and then they get compensated, so we won't have to pay them. So a lot of these things won't actually cost us in that way, but there are a few programs that we've already purchased. They're actually much cheaper, but just in case as we dig in more, I just wanted y'all to be aware that we're working on the security for all devices, basically. And again, the battery backups and network servers, that kind of ties in to this, to number 3, so I'll just kind of skip that. But I guess I can say that one good thing is battery backups are covered by E-rate, which is basically one of the taxes on your cell phone. And for our district, because of the economics of the students, we have like an 80% discount. So basically, we have a limit that we can to spend, but if we spend up to that limit, it's 80% off until we go over it. So we'll cover those battery backups and that type of thing and make that much cheaper. There's a little bit of Wi-Fi upgrades and some other things that would fall under the E-rate as well, and they also would get that discount. So we're going to take advantage of that this year. And then lastly, most of these aren't as old. I guess it seems kind of like what happened for me at DayZ. Around COVID, that's when everybody started going one-to-one because we kind of had to. And that's what you'll even see a big old tag on the back of these that say, on a lot of Chromebooks, that says TEA Operation, I can't remember what they called it now, but it was, they spent a lot of money, TEA, to get a lot of Chromebooks all at once, and then you could buy them from them at an even bigger discount because of just how many they bought at that time. And so, and that was about 5 years ago, right? So that's about how most of our Chromebooks are. Not as old. Our desktops are actually, some of them are 10 years plus. But the Chromebooks, they're really just showing like wear and tear. They work for the most part. Their specs are good enough to run what the students need to do. They're just getting some wear and tear. And luckily, like the high school has like the $25 insurance kind of charge. That would actually buy us like $50 a year or something. So I think we could take advantage of some of the things that we have coming in like that to pay for those things. But I guess because everything kind of is kind of slowly accumulated, it's a lot of stuff that also needs to be replaced similarly at the same, if not the same time, on a timetable. And I do think that's probably going to be the best way to, especially eventually, to get into that, because you just can't wait and then spend it. So that's my last point, though. it sounds like that's probably the best approach, is to try to figure out what we absolutely have to do and get that done, and then try to get on a better schedule, and going forward. But that's, if you have any, information that you need from me, or, just if you, have anything that you wanna tell me in an email or something like that, you can do that at any time. It's just cooksey@aisdbenthers.com, and I'll get, talk to y'all and we can figure it out. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next, discussion item is item B, discuss board workshop dates on TASB legislative update 126.
Mr. President, if I may, this is a big daddy, and we really think that Corey, and he agrees, by the way, there's enough, oftentimes there's board update stuff, and it's just kind of like they change a pronoun in there, so whatever they do, change a piece of grammar or punctuation. I mean, this is going to be much more substantive than that, and we want to give it the respect it deserves. When we went over the agenda with Dr. Redmond, we all talked about the fact that, now, and it's going to be y'all's decision, and we're going to be supportive of it however y'all want to do it. But we were kind of thinking, when it's something that requires some serious thought, to make it part of a regular meeting after y'all have worked your tails off all day long, it might end up with be a bit of a long evening. So we were thinking, Dr. Redmond, you're going to slap me back in place. I think, we definitely discussed that, but ultimately, if the decision ends up being doing it in a regular meeting, we're fine with that. But we just wanted y'all to be fresh and not to be miserable. Sorry, Corey, but as he goes on and on about this stuff, and then pressures y'all to make a decision, about this, and you're tired and all this kind of stuff. So we were thinking maybe just create a workshop, and we were kind of talking about maybe a Saturday morning, although there's nothing magic about that. Now, that's about all I have to say. Dr. Redmond, you probably have some other things that you want to say.
Yeah, basically, I think Corey's going to take about 2 hours, we think. So we especially need a 2-hour slot. So it doesn't have to be a Saturday, but it would probably not be best to double up on a regular meeting night. So outside, so I think we picked, or looked at 3 Saturdays in January. Of course, the first one's still a holiday,
Mr. President, if y'all did, ask us to try to streamline an agenda and try, not to do like I tend to do, go on and on to shorten that up. So we're okay with anything y'all want to do.
Any thoughts?
I would prefer not the 10th. That's opening day of basketball for my kids, and it would be impossible for my husband to bring them both where they need to go. So 17th would be fine, but 10th I would prefer not. I can call him Bo, but
I'm out the 17th. I've got to work.
You want to kick that into close and we can go around the table and find a date?
We can. Yeah. I mean, we don't have to finalize the date right here, right now.
No.
That's,
y'all can, and Jessica, or Tammy, somebody, certainly not me, you don't want me doing it, but somebody can be, well, you didn't have to agree that adamantly,
that was
but.
fast.
That was quick.
Especially with Kim out here.
This can be facilitated like she usually did, via email. This is maybe just introducing that thought.
Yeah.
And so
that's right. Yeah,
yes,
we
sir.
don't have to nail down a date. Yeah, that's fine.
If you could just email me your preference, and then we can put it together and try to figure out who would be available, when we could have the most people available, which one of the 3 dates, and then
And certainly these dates probably were Corey's dates when we asked him to give us some. I'm guessing, I don't remember, I've slept since then. So we would have to, once we kind of, we'd have to also include him in that, because he likes to do cool stuff on the weekends too, Not the third.
Yeah, I know, the third.
That's my birthday.
Oh, okay. Well,
You don't want
it's
to
so
party
close
with
to
us on your
holidays too.
birthday?
Okay. Well, that was basically what that's about, and so we just need to find a 2-hour spot, and yeah, we can find a date.
And Mr. President, I don't know, Corey, Corey, do you have anything you'd like to add to this conversation?
No, I think I've got it covered.
Okay.
now, if we did the 10th, if we could do it in the afternoon, I could, because she plays at 11. So I mean, like 1 or 2 would be good. I could be back.
Okay.
I'll email you.
Yeah, just email, because Jessica technically doesn't start until after we come back from the holiday break, so just email me and then we'll have all the dates. And
Okay.
get something lined out before we break for holiday.
Okay.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and that concludes our regular meeting. We'll go into closed session, discussion, evaluation of personnel, Texas Government Code 551.074. Consultation with board attorney regarding all matters as authorized by law, Texas Government Code Section 551.071. Hear the grievance of parent KS under Texas Government Code Sections 551.071. Consultation with board attorney regarding all matters as authorized by law. Discussion, evaluation of personnel, school children, district employees, disciplinary matter or complaint. 551.0821, school board personally identifiable information about public school student. Thank you. We're all here. Okay, we will reconvene into open session. The time is 8:36.
That's all.
Item 11, take action on items discussed in closed session. Item 12, discussion and possible action to address the grievance of parent KS under board policy PNG, local student rights and responsibilities, student and parent complaints and grievances. Do I hear any motions to take action? No motion. Okay. It is the decision of the board to take no action on the grievance. Effectively, the grievance has been denied. This concludes tonight's grievance proceedings. If I could have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion from Michael to adjourn. And a second?
Second.
Okay, and a second from Carlton. The time is 8:38.